Everyone, Paul here. Today I'm going to give you guys a quick strategy. I'm going to use this one for the stock market, but it's kind of going over two of the strategies that I've talked about before. This is going over the linear line strategy as well as what I've been talking about recently, which is the using trend lines. But we're going to get our trend lines by looking at the linear regression candles, not the regular candles, but the linears. And we'll be looking at SPY today, and we'll basically be putting up the linear candles, and then we'll draw our lines, and then we'll find the proper time. We'll look at this on a higher time frame because I think it works the best in a higher time frame. But we'll look at good points to get in. After you draw your line, you'll basically be able to see pretty much a good point to get in trade, and I'm going to show you how to identify that with these two indicators. Okay, so first we're going to be looking at this on, I get the 4 hour. We're looking at a longer time frame. Look at the 4 hour, maybe the day, and we'll be looking at SPY. Maybe we'll look at some other stocks as well. But first, to set this up, first you need to get your indicators. You want to go to linear regression, and you want to hide your candles. And the only other tool here you need is you need to go to drawings, and you need to go to your ray tool. So what you want to look for is two touch points you'll be doing this with the linear, you'll be making your trend lines with the ray tool here. So basically what you want to look for is two connect points. We see one right here, and you want to connect it. You want to make sure another wick touches it. So we see it right here. We see the touch point here, and then we see a touch point up here. So this is a trend line. So basically, you can enter on different ways here. So you still have your I think that's a signal line. Let's call it here. Yeah, this is your plot line from the linear line, so you could actually, you could notice that you're going in an uptrend, and you could get in your trade right here. And then the main thing here is when you see the candle going through that trend line, you know that it's a change of direction for the most part. You see the candle going down and breaking the trend line right here, so this would have been a good time to get in for it's basically a reversal. So that's one point here. If you did this with SPY, now I want to teach how to do it basically with the spotting it with the trend lines. I mean, you could get in here. You couldn't get here when it goes through the plot line. You can ride that out, and that's a trade right there. It's a long trade. And you can also get in your trade when it breaks the trend line right here. So right about when it breaks the trend line right here would be another time to get in. This would be some profit right here. So let's look at a couple other examples. So what we want to do is we first want to make a trend line with the ray tool. And I think I found another one. Found one right here. Right here to here. Touches right here. It goes through the plot line right here, and you can enter your trade right here. Now you can enter your trade as long as it goes through the plot line, and you can enter all the way through here until it touches again, so you could get into this entire trade right here. This is going against the trend. So what you want to do is you want to look for all the trades where it's going the direction of the trend line here. This right here is going against the trend line. But you see another moment happen right here. Right here to here. So that's another moment right here. And then it breaks right down there. So it breaks the trend line right here. You could get in right there. So let's go back a little bit and see if we could find any more. You come in right here for your trend line, and it touches right about here. It's about the same thing. Bounces, you're in an uptrend right here. It also goes through your plot line right here, so this would be this would be your trade right here, and it goes against it, and it comes back right here. It still bounces up, but then right here it rejects it. So right here you could have come in and to break a structure at this point. Real quickly, I want to do this on the day chart. So this strategy is really used for a lot of the longer time frames. You can use smaller time frames if you want, but I would probably do this strategy on a longer time frame. So let's look at the day real quick. It does the same thing. Got a point right here, and then right here. So basically it's the same thing. This is an uptrend of a trend line. What you want to look out for is if it breaks this trend line and it breaks right here, this would be a signal to do a put. But you basically can get in for longer trades. Since we know the trend, the trend is going up, you could get in right here when the candle passes through the plot line. Right there would be a trade for 7 days. You would have made 2,000. And then right here is a trade. This is $1,427 if you're doing it on Robinhood. Goes against the trend right here. And most likely it's probably going to bounce back up. It's going to bounce back up, and it's going to bounce back up through the plot line. But if it doesn't, it'll go through the trend line here, and that would be a moment to get in when it breaks the structure of the trend line. Let's real quickly look at this. Let's look at this with some other stocks. Let's look at Tesla. Get rid of these other ones. Let's look at this real quickly on a 4-hour. See, the best results will be with a higher time frame. So go to our ray tool right down here, and then it connects it right about here. So this is the start of our uptrend. So basically, you can get in here when it crosses the plot line. You can ride that out. This would be going against the trend. This would be going against the trend. So it's most likely going to bounce off of the trend line, but if it doesn't bounce off the trend line, it'll come down, and if it breaks this trend line, then that's a moment to get in for a put. Let's real quickly look at this on the day. Let's see our trend line. We got one right here. Here to here. So from this point, you see it bouncing in an uptrend. So it's also going up with the plot line, so you can get in right here. Take that trade. Goes against the trend right about here. So if it breaks this line, then it will go, most likely it'll go against the trend and you'll be in a downtrend. But most likely it's probably going to bounce up from here. I would wait until this line gets a little bit closer. But anyway, those are kind of the ways you look for signals. You first got to identify. You got to make a trend line with your ray tool, and I would do this in a longer time frame. So anyway, you need this for you need to make your trend line, and it works the best, I believe, doing it on a longer time frame. You can try this on a 15-minute, but it'll be more choppy for you. But I prefer doing this on the 4-hour chart. It gives kind of the best, either the 4-hour to 1 hour. Anyway, you use it. You find the lowest point, or if you're we didn't do the upper, but you can do the same way with the top, with the trend line. But basically, you draw your trend line and you use your linear regression candles to find the moments to get in. You could use the plot line to also identify good moments to get in. But anyway, if you guys like this video, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys in future videos.